How's it going, folks? It's Lobo, and welcome back to the channel. So if I'm doing this correctly, the time right here, this one, well, there we go, is when you can jump to catch my reaction, because right now we're going to be having a little chat. And first off, I want to start by saying I apologize. I overestimated my editing skills because I said this video would be up on a Friday, and I'm watching it now on a Monday. So yeah, I'm a little bit off, but I really kind of overestimated my ability to edit fast because I also am editing WandaVision and uploading that every other day. If you haven't seen that, that should be in the description. But I had to do the Annabelle Comes Home reaction, which I also did, which is also in the description. But that took a while because it's a movie, and obviously a movie takes longer to edit. And it's hard too because I have to download and then upload, so the dual. And then I found out that Annabelle was blocked because I had too much footage, and my recent WandaVision video was also blocked before. That's why it uploaded a day later. Sorry about that, but it did. So then I had to redo everything, cut out a little bit more footage, and they both got blocked again. So I'm like, what the hell, bro? So finally, on the third one for each, it finally uploaded. So I'm sorry for that, but it's a little bit annoying, but it's understandable, obviously. It's not mine. I didn't make the movie, but still. Oh, it was quite the hassle, but anyway, we did it, and here we are finally. Gonna react to the new Conjuring movie, and just on the note of the Conjuring, the reviews, again, I know everyone says, and I kind of agree with this, judge something for yourself, but generally, reviewers are pretty good on things. It's their job or it's their hobby or whatever. Like, they should have some degree of credibility, but just going off of Rotten Tomatoes, I know that's the infamous, because, again, a lot of people, there have been films where it's like, okay, it's leaning towards the critics, like, this is garbage, and then the audience is like, oh my god, I love this. It's the holy grail of movies. I even believe there was an article where they said reviewers aren't catching up to audiences, like, interest and taste anymore, so I guess that theory is being proven a little bit here. But right now, the general score for critics on this movie is a 59, so technically that's rotten. And the audience score, even though it's only 1,000 verified reviews, it's 84 for audience. So pretty good on the audience side. We'll just have to see, because why I'm talking about this is the director of this is, if I pronounce his last name correctly, Michael Chavez. He did the La Llorona movie, which didn't do well either critically or, well, both critically and with the audience score. The main key here is James Wan, who did the first Conjuring movie and the second Conjuring movie, meaning he was like in the director's chair and he had a huge oversight and control over everything going on. And so far, he's been nailing it every single time. So his involvement on this one is limited more than before. He's only mentioned as being a producer, which is really not a big deal. Producing is just kind of like organization and shit, but it's not really oversight within the structure of a film. But he did part of the story, so that's a good sign. That's a plus. It's just really the being in the director's seat is kind of essential for things like this. So again, I'll reserve judgment until I watch it, but going in, I am already kind of wondering, wow, this film could have been better if he was directing. But I'll try not to get into that mindset and enjoy it. Of course, we have both actors for Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'm sorry if I just don't know their names, but every time they make the story very worthwhile and stuff. And I read a reviewer or just a generalized review that said they did enough to keep you invested, which I would expect of them. They're great actors, and of course their characters. I absolutely love their characters. It's so intriguing, and the fact that these were also based on real people. Ed and Lorraine Warren are real. They're now deceased, unfortunately, but they were real people, real paranormal investigators who worked hand in hand with the church. They were authorized by the church, which is a crazy thing to think of. But yeah, like I said, here we are. This one is also called Conjuring. Let me get this right. The Devil Made Me Do It. That's kind of a mouthful when you consider that the first Conjuring was Conjuring and the second one was Conjuring 2. And then this one is just like, the devil made me do it. So it's whatever. I'll have to see what that means. But to my knowledge, again, I haven't seen really any trailers because I want to keep this kind of fresh and new, but to my understanding, this is another one of those based on a true stories, or at least taking some aspects of real life. And it's another one of those like top tier paranormal activities, like in terms of documentation, how well it kind of did with the public and shit like that. I know the second one was supposedly like the most famous paranormal investigative case of all. I'm not too sure on that. The second one was my favorite Conjuring of the first two. I loved the first one. I just kind of scared me a little bit more than the second one, but the second one, I enjoyed the story more and like the connection. Again, this might sound a little like soft or cliche or whatever, but my legit favorite scene in the entire second Conjuring movie was when Ed was playing the guitar. I think it was the Elvis song. Let me just double check. Yeah, it was Elvis. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, the I Can't Help Falling in Love with You when he's playing that on guitar. It was just so wholesome. I loved it. I'm sorry. You call me soft or whatever, but that was my favorite scene of the whole one. And that's what I said was good about these movies. I mentioned it in Annabelle and La Llorona if you haven't watched those. The Conjuring movies are able to be more than just horror movies and bring a side of humanity that is just really nice and touching, and it also makes you reflect upon yourself, because I've said it in the last movie that we watched. Again, this was Annabelle. It doesn't even matter if you're religious or not, or whatever beliefs you have. Sort of the driving philosophy and kind of I want to get this word correctly, the kind of symbolism or meaning or deeper understanding, whatever you want to call it, that these core movies have is kind of an amazing thing when you put into aspect of your own life. It's the thought of triumphing over evil and overcoming your own fear, and there's a lot of powerful messages in there and it's stuff, and again, it can really help you reflect on your own life and how you can perceive others. It's like sort of standing together or being by yourself. I wouldn't go as in like strength in numbers. That's a little too basic. It's more just having connections and how like love and shit can overcome like hatred and evil and stuff. Again, it's a very beautiful dynamic, even though I try not to over-analyze things, but I do it anyway. But still, when you are able to like kind of look at it through the lens that I do as sort of this core value, it's like a beautiful thing to see. I don't know. I'm sorry for ranting about that, but I do. That's what really makes me appreciate these movies. And as like a Christian or semi-religious person, I'd call myself, it gets a little bit creepy, but it's still an amazing thing to see how you can believe in yourself, because it's not necessarily you have to have faith in a higher power. If you have faith in your loved ones or yourself over your own fear, you can, I don't want to sound like that, man, but you can master it and you can rise above it. Again, it's just a very complex idea, and it's very cool to see that put into a setting where it's just meant to be about horror and fear, but they could still work in this underlying theme that is so powerful in terms of our own lives. So again, that's just why I appreciate these movies. But moving on, we're about to watch this. Again, I haven't seen anything about it, so we're going in completely blind essentially. And yeah, but before that, again, if you watched up to this, bravo to you for going through my rants. But I did say in La Llorona I would tell a little story, so you're probably like, what does that even mean? Again, you don't have to watch it, you can just listen to my reaction, but I said I would tell you about my encounter with the nun, which is super ominous. So here, I'm about to lay it out. This is going to sound so strange saying out loud. So I am like a big dreamer. I don't mean that like, oh my God, I have so many ambitions. I mean like when I go to sleep, I dream a lot, like multiple dreams a night. Probably I've been taking like melatonin for the past year, and it's kind of like amplifying how many dreams I have, but I have a lot of dreams. I've always had a lot of dreams, and sometimes they can get super weird, like a lot of people's dreams, but I remember them. Like when I wake up, I'll be able to remember my dreams. And I'm also kind of like a master of dreaming. So like I have a lot of lucid dreams. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially when you're able to understand, hey, I'm asleep right now. This is not real. So things can get weird, things can get bizarre when you know you're in a dream. So the dream I had involved a nun. I was going on a tour with like a priest. I don't know why, because this is just a random dream. And we went through this church or abbey or whatever you want to call it. And we walked through, and the walls all had like vines and shit, and trees were growing through windows. It was kind of like a deconstructed or very old church slash abbey, whatever you want to call it. And you could tell like something felt off about it. And there was one door, and it would just be like a rug that led to the other door. And next to the rug, so while you're walking to the other door, it would be on your right, there was like the rows of seats where people would sit, and then there was a bench, and there was a nun just chilling on the bench. It was the nun, like the creepy one. And so I'd be like, oh my God. And I told my escort priest, like, let's go through the door. So when we opened the door to leave, it led back into the original door, and the priest who was helping me was gone. So I'm like, oh my God. So then I'd walk past her again to go to the other door to see if it would let me out this time. And then, of course, she would start looking at me, but all creepy because she got, like, the yellow eyes, the black around her eyes, the white face, and I think she has, like, black lips and shit. Super creepy. And I'm like, oh, God, no. So then I walk through again. I notice I come through again from the original door, and I walk, and this time she's, like, staring dead at me like it wasn't a turn. She was just following me as I walked. And then I was like, oh, God. And it kept repeating another time until I'm like, this is a dream. I'm asleep right now. This is a dream. And then I looked at her, and I'm like, this is a dream and stuff. And she got like mad about that and stuff. So she stood up, and I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do, bro? And I'm like, wait a minute, this is a dream. So if you don't know Skyrim, you're not gonna understand what I'm about to say. So she started coming at me. So then I was like, oh my God. And I did the Foos Roda shout on her, and her ass flew through a wall, bro. I kid you not. That sounds so bizarre saying out loud, but that's what I did. I Foos Roda'd her through a wall like a boss, man. Dragonborn shit. I know it sounds a little far-fetched, but I told you my dreams are whack as hell, and that's what I did. I'll be sitting on my deathbed telling people about the time I Foos Roda'd a demonic nun through a wall. Shouted like a pro. And that's my story. Oh, it sounds so crazy. I'm not crazy. I promise. But anyway, we're going to watch the movie now. That was just a little fun dream I had, and I will never forget it. So kids, if you have lucid dreams, take advantage of them and overcome the evil. Because like I said, that is the theme of these movies. Whatever it takes, even if you have to shout. So, here we are with the reaction finally. Let's get this shit started. While I get this loaded up, I always kind of remember things I wish I would have said, like after I finished talking originally. And just something I kind of remembered or whatever. I was kind of confused. Well, not really confused. I originally thought that the doll, like Annabelle and the nun, were the same demon. I was like, wait, no, how does that make sense? But then I remembered like the individual movies, and there were two separate ones. They were not the same being, so to speak. So I don't know if either of them is going to make an appearance in this movie. I don't think the nun, because Lorraine, if you watch the second Conjuring, she banished that to the furthest corner of hell, so to speak, or literally that's what she said. And Annabelle's contained, so I think this is going to be something new entirely. So interesting. Well, already, all their intros when they do the logo have this dark greenish gray theme with the music, so they're very consistent on that. I'll give them that. I can hear Ed in the background talking. There's some giant ass claw marks, dude. Is there gonna be like creatures in here too? On July 18th, 1981, Ed and Lorraine Warren were called to document the exorcism of David Glatzel. He was 8 years old. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh, voice crack.
Let's take a little break. I just can't remember one quite like this.
Both sporting a new do. I like it. Certainly 80s style. Or at least newer. Interesting. Starting off the movie with like the ending.
You know, being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you are scared, but you hang in there.
That's a really valid point. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It's overcoming that fear. Oh, I just watched this guy. This guy's from Annabelle. I love the consistency between their films, even in like minor characters return. What the hell? Oh, dude, don't go in the tub. That's terrible. One thing about this director, though, he loves jump scares. La Llorona had way more jump scares than any other Conjuring movie I've seen. Oh, God, don't you dare. Oh, it's fingers. That's nasty. I hate this. I hate this, bro. Oh, God. Oh, what the hell? Oh, God, that's disgusting.
David.
Uh-oh, is he gonna be whacked out? Holy shit! Jesus, bro. Yo, he's not even touching the wall. It's like astral presence. It's really reaching out. Jesus, man. And the same camera dude.
Against the powers of the darkness of this world, against wickedness.
Lord, send him aid from your holy place, and watch over him from Sire.
Oh shit! What the hell? Oh, what the shit? What the hell is gonna... Oh, that's so weird.
Leave him alone! Arnie, don't talk to him! I said, leave him alone! He's just a little boy, you coward! No, Arnie, don't talk to him!
Yo, why you ain't trying to antagonize it?
I'll stop your heart, old man.
What the hell?
Take me.
Yo, what?
Leave him alone! And take me!
Yo, his heart is bugging right now. Is he having like a heart attack? It punched his heart, even though it sounded a little funny, because, again, it was a little bit odd, but still. The exorcism of 8-year-old David Glatzel was meant to end the months of torment, but for Arn Johnson, it was just the beginning. The tragic events that followed made nationwide headlines and led Ed and Lorraine Warren to the most sinister discovery of their career. Based on the true story. Oh, shit! The Conjuring, the devil made me do it. Yo, I got goosebumps, bro. That was probably the bizarrest intro I've seen yet of their movies. Because it jumped right into the action. Again, it was a little funny. It was like, I'll punch out your heart. It was a little weird. I won't lie.
I'll run a few more tests before I'm comfortable answering that. I'm sorry.
Did this really happen in real life? Jesus Christ, man. Also, I noticed they for the Annabelle movie I watched, I think it was a different actress playing their daughter. And this one is like the actual daughter from the first 2 Conjuring movies, but obviously it's been a number of years, so she's older. So this guy just got possessed and everything's all fine and dandy. Okay. Oh, I love this song! Obviously, my freaking channel will get taken down because music is like the bane of reaction videos, so I can't include it, but I love this song. Interesting. The radio is being weird when he walked by it. That's interesting. I'm also wondering, Lorraine, in her visions, like, is she seeing the creation of this, like, I'm assuming it's a demon. Like, it looked like a pentagram, so maybe it was like a summoning circle or some shit. This is really after? They fixed up and renovated their house very fast. Oh wait, no, I can see claw marks on the wall. Okay, nice attention to detail. I'll give you that. I mean, I guess it's not hard to rearrange furniture, but still. Things went back to normal way too fast. Like, the dude literally said, take me. Did he not think it would? Oh, there's a hole in the wall. Ah, great. Look through it. Wonderful. He's gonna put his finger in it! If I didn't show footage, that would sound so bad. Who does this? Who does that? Okay! What the hell? Well, she didn't vomit blood in his mouth, because that's how all the other possessions worked in these movies. I guess that's... it's not a great sign, but it's still better than what it could have been.
And we stood under the gazebo until it stopped. But my home is here with him.
Nah. Told you earlier, bro. That's why I love these movies, because of moments like this. And I just love both of their characters. They're such a great duo. I really find it funny how nobody's questioning what happened, and they're just all acting normal. Great, this guy's up chainsawing a tree. Why is it some lady that looks like she works at a hotel, bro? She looks like one of those, like, old school fancy-dancy hotel managers or some shit. I don't know. So is it a ghost?
But we can both quit next Saturday. How about that?
He's starting to look very sickly. Very interesting way to start off the movie.
Arnie. It's got Arnie.
Oh, they didn't know. Oh. No, he was the only one that witnessed it. Everybody else was in the kitchen. I'm loving the music they do. I mean, it's all old school. And that is my favorite time frame. For music, at least. I love oldies, man. More than what they put out today. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I do. Oh. I'll give you that one. That got me a little. This guy, one dance.
Know how this is gonna sound, but there's gonna be a tragedy at the Brookfield boarding kennel.
Oh no, it's making him see shit.
Arnie, help me!
Oh no. Oh god, now I understand the title. Oh! Oh my god, bro. So he's stabbing the guy, but it's making him see shit. So everyone thinks he's just a murderer. Yo, that's crazy. Like I said, the devil made me do it. Kind of makes you wonder, dude, because there are some cases where the people plead like demonic activity and shit, like the Amityville I can't say Amityville horror. I can't say it. I don't know why. Amityville. Shit.
I think I hurt someone.
Oh my god, dude, he sounds like a psycho.
You're not possessed. But that doesn't mean that you weren't.
No, in the second Conjuring, it was able to mask its presence from Lorraine.
I don't think he should get the death sentence either. But I am not going before a grand jury and saying he was possessed by demons.
Existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
Oh, that was a fire line. Holy shit.
We'll show you the evidence we've collected over the years. Introduce you to Annabelle. If you're not convinced, we'll butt out.
Oh shit, yo! You asked for it. Look at her! She's shook! Her world is rocked, man! I wonder how much of this is true. Did he really, like, plead demonic possession? And how did this really turn out? So is something in the house.
Put that box down a second.
Why?
I just...
Maybe the summoning occurred in, like, underneath the house or some shit. Maybe, like, a hidden cave. I don't know. Or it's built on, like, a burial ground. Oh, it's kind of like Poltergeist, but still. Oh, it's a waterbed. I have a bad feeling about this. Either it's gonna pop or something creepy's gonna happen. Oh god. I've never been on a waterbed and this is already making me not want to ever. Oh, get off it already, bro. He gets a pass though, he's only 8 years old. Oh, what is like a mirror? Whoa! So it's a haunted bed, bro? They just left a haunted bed in the house? Okay, I'm gonna need an explanation on that one. Well, I mean, it could technically haunt the whole house. It's not a bed demon. Oh, so they do have a creepy basement.
The guest room's about 15 feet in and to the right.
Okay.
Be careful.
Did you just say guest room? What the fuck kind of a guest room is that, bro? I'm sorry for swearing. I mean, this is rated R, so I get a free pass, but still. Did they really just say the guest room is to the right? Oh, they're talking about underneath it. Yeah, I'm such an idiot, bro. It's like... Obviously, it's a... unholy artifact or something. Kind of reminds me of like the Blair Witch totems or whatever. This is interesting. It's like... weird because technically now there's no monster or demon or whatever because as they said, it kills a person, then departs. Oh, I recognize this guy. Based on his smile. I know.
I'm Ed Warren.
Chaos is Nectar's despair.
But someone had to put it under.
I know who this is. He plays Scarecrow in Arkham Knight. This was a random little fact. I knew him. Because I watched a documentary. Also, I recognize his voice now. I heard him say in my head from him talking here, 5 ounces of my latest toxin. Well, I'm not too knowledgeable. I know a little bit about like this paranormal shit, but my knowledge on this ain't too well when it comes to like satanic cults and stuff. I don't mess around with stuff like that. That type of like a research or interest in general. But I just saw the lady he was seeing was lighting the pentagram. and she had a picture. I think it was his picture. Oh, come on, there shouldn't be anything creepy. As they said, he's not like cursed anymore. Okay. The guy behind you, maybe? You're kind of just backing up into him. Yeah, there he is.
I know who you are.
Oh, it is his picture. They're still doing this. This kind of reminds me of like the kniving from The Witcher, even though it's completely different because it's not misfortune. It's like a possession. This is so bizarre. So that lady's not a ghost. She's alive then. Danvers, Massachusetts. I've been to Danvers. Oh, here we go. I don't know why I try to do like kung fu with my TV when I get scared. Okay. It's just a tree climber. It's just a little kid climbing a tree. Nothing wrong with that. What the You play something normal and that scares the shit out of me, bro. Ed, are you okay? Man, his heart, bro. So they didn't know, because they thought both girls died by someone else. They didn't know one killed the other. Whoa! Jesus! Oh my god, bro. It still has a presence there. Jesus, man.
And I'll get that case filed to you in the morning.
He's a believer now. Her powers are scary, but they're also really helpful and very cool. But still, I would not want to see dead people and have dark visions and shit.
Him, then Arnie needs to be put on a 24-hour suicide watch. He's
What is this thing?
Okay, yo, I'm getting freaking goosebumps. It's even scarier because they don't know what they're dealing with, and they're like the experts, bro. So what the shit is happening? I'm sorry. I talk a lot when I'm scared. This movie has been a mouthful from me.
Then that connection could still be open.
So she made a connection. So that's how she's able to see things related to this curse. Man, this poor guy. Sucks because everyone thinks he's crazy. Jesus, Ed. What a savage, man. Is she really physically walking? Because it was either the first or second. I think it was the second Conjuring. She was like projecting herself in a vision without really walking in the real world. Because we saw her in the forest. She was obviously running in the vision and in like real life. Oh, that's lovely upside down cross. But as I was saying, I think here she's just like projecting herself.
And the connection works both ways.
What? Dude, that's freaking freaky. Oh my god. It was that creepy hotel manager woman I was talking about. Oh god. The bodies are gone.
Rain. Let go of her hand.
She knows who we are.
What the hell? So she's gonna come after them? Yo, this is dark, man.
Once started, the curse must be completed. Her soul depends on it.
Or else it's gonna come back on her. Oh shit. Or is this a vision? Because Lorraine would definitely be watching over him.
Quite the collection.
What the hell is this chick?
If you hurt her!
I'm sorry, Father. We tried calling, but we couldn't reach you.
Wait.
We were hoping you'd help us translate a passage from this book.
He has some relation? Wait a minute. He does! He locked the door! Damn, he is zooming. Good reason. That's why she didn't want to go down there originally. Because she already knew. Can you please put a light on? Thank you.
So I raised her here, in secret.
It's his daughter!
I failed as a priest. I failed as a father. Please, God, don't let me fail.
She's got powers, man. She's like the anti-Lorraine, so to speak. Holy shit. This is crazy. So Lorraine is super overpowered, but for good. And now she's met her polar opposite. Oh, dude. I'm never staying at another hotel just because of this lady, even though she doesn't work at one. Oh, she's trying to lead Ed. Ed! It's a trap! No, I know it! Dude, this chick is so powerful, bro. What the shit? Oh my god, dude. She is. She's like a dark hotel manager, principal. I don't know, bro. It's because of that dress she's wearing. Looks like she works for like Hotel Transylvania. Oh my god, bro! He's got a shard of glass! It ain't working, man.
Remember me.
That was awesome! That transition! Oh shit, that was good. You failed. Shouldn't it take her soul now? Because she failed?
You promised the demon a soul.
Ugh!
And it can't go back to hell without one.
Oh my god, bro.
I forgot my pills.
Oh my god, bro. She kept one in her locket. And they're playing the theme from the other movies. Oh, it's so sweet. How do you explain this to the cops, though? They're gonna show up and there's gonna be 2 dead bodies. Like, they would be your murder suspects right there. Oh god, she put the nun painting in there. Yeah, at least the continuity is still there, though. The monkey. Now the chalice. How many years is he gonna get? On November 24th, 1981, Arnie Johnson was convicted on the charge of manslaughter. Arnie served 5 years. He married Debbie while in prison. Really? They're still married to this day? Bro! He only got 5 years. I know that's still a lot. It's a lot to be a day in prison, but still, compared to what it could have been. Is it gonna be Gazebo? Yup. Oh my god. I love every single song they used in this movie. Oh my god, dude.
He would constantly challenge what was in that boy.
What does that do to the whole system of law if a person can walk in and say, the devil made me do it?
The title. Oh my god, dude.
Tells you.
Actual recording.
You can't sit him up.
Dude, they did a really good job of recreating the actual sound. Oh, alright. Well, we just finished it. That's creepy, dude. Even though it's creepy, I love when they do like the actual pictures and recordings of shit that happened. Again, like I'm not gonna hear debate religion or stuff, but as someone who like grew up Christian background, I'm talking about myself personally, and just somewhat religious because, you know, I'm not gonna go into it, but of course there's, you know, moments of belief and doubt and stuff, but from someone who's like a partial to like full-time believer in myself, seeing stuff like this kind of rattles my world, so to speak. And like the actual recordings, like, that does not sound like a kid. I know some people could say, oh, it was he was putting on a voice or whatever, which may be true. I'm not denying that it could be false. But like seeing shit like that, it makes you really wonder, like, bro, what is really going on in the world? Like, what's in the realm of possibility with just everything? It's very sinister and creepy. That's kind of reminds me of the second one when they had the girl. She drank like the water, and then they would start recording, and then they said, oh, she could have just spat the water out, then drank it again. And even in the tape, she sounded like the creepy old man and stuff, and it's like, how is a little girl sounding like that? Just believe what you want, but even still, it's creepy. Even if they're faking it or it's edited, it's still creepy nonetheless. But whether you're a partial non-believer, it's a creepy proposal that, yes, this may happen, this may be real, and evil can take real dark forms and shit like that. Like, oh. But we'll go into more of that later, but just going off the, like, just the conclusion of the movie, I enjoyed that more than I thought I would. Like I said before, I was skeptical because the director was not the traditional one. It was the director of La Llorona. But again, the story was still by James Wan, and I enjoyed this one more than I thought I would. I didn't love it to its potential, or like however much I could have, I guess. I didn't really love it, but I really enjoyed it. Let's say that. I definitely think it's the weakest out of the 3 Conjurings, but it's not like out of the ballpark, so to speak. Like, say they made 5 of these movies or whatever, and you have their little range and stuff. This one would still be in like the tier I think the first 2 are in, but it would be dead last of those first 2. My favorite was the second Conjuring, just because of that one moment with Ed playing the guitar. And I love how they did incorporate more of those nice, heartfelt moments, especially at the end when he remembered when they were standing under the rain in the gazebo, and then he, of course, got the gazebo afterwards, after it was that memory, which brought him back. That was very touching and emotional. I like that they did that. I also like the parallel, because you had, of course, were the 2 lovers, and I think like a lover was needed for the ritual sacrifice, but there was the parallel of them and then would flip to Arnie with his girlfriend and stuff in the same moment because they were both possessed, and then it both broke. That was a nice parallel, and again, another touching thing. No, I did like this movie, but I'm just like, that's crazy, because when they show, especially the ending, when they show the title through the guy, the interviewer, saying, you know, how can you say that it was the devil who made me do it? It's like, it makes me think of the Peter Griffin thing. It was like, they said the title, but still, it's crazy because it's not like, they made up the entire story. Again, some of it is definitely 120% going to be fabricated. Of course, there's no denying that. But it's not like the entire premise of the plot came out of nowhere. Like, they're using actual shit that happened. Same characters, and of course, the same idea of this ritual. Again, I don't know the specifics. Obviously, I haven't seen, like, their files or whatever, and I don't know, like, the true story, because some of this could have been made up, so to speak. Like, I feel like the guy having his, like, the ex-priest with his daughter, like, I feel like that storyline was probably made up, but, like, the ritual maybe wasn't. I'm not saying, like, oh, yes, the ritual definitely conjured up a demon. I'm saying there could have been a group that practiced the ritual, and that was, like, in the findings of the police or whatever, but I don't necessarily think it was the storyline of the priest with his daughter. But it's still crazy, though. Especially when you look at how, like, the cops worked with them. I wonder if that happened in real life. Well, like, real life. Because I said earlier, I knew the church worked with them, and they were, like, kind of authorized / certified that, like, yes, you can operate within the parameters of the church as our, like, agents or our right hand or whatever, which is a crazy enough thing to think about. But especially, too, when it comes to law enforcement, because they made that, like, I don't know if he was a sheriff or a detective or whatever, they made him a believer and stuff, so I'm wondering, like, how close was that to real life? I'm probably going to do a little bit of research on this to see, like, hey, how did it compare to real life and shit? But this is crazy, too, because, again, it showed the case, so apparently he really did plead not guilty based on accounts of demonic possession. Like, that's a crazy thing to say. Again, I said he only got 5 years, but yes, as I said earlier, even a day in prison is a lot, and it's terrible, but obviously if you committed the crime, you should be in there. I'm not talking about him specifically. I'm saying within, like, the judicial system, depending on what crime you did, there's obvious consequences, and especially for killing another human. But again, in retrospect, things are different. Self-defense, stuff like that. But in terms of this one, I don't know how it really played out, but it said he only got 5 years, which for killing someone, that is a short term. They were talking about giving him the death penalty, and now he only got 5 years, and he got to get married and get out. So that's interesting. I mean, he did stab the guy, 22 times? I think both stabbings were 22, which is an interesting number. I feel like 13 would have been a little too, you know what I mean? But still, that kind of would have made sense. But I wonder what evidence they had. Like, what did the lawyer say? Like, how did they prove this to be like, okay, let's reduce the sentence? Like, what? Again, I'm really going to have to do my research after this because I'm very intrigued. This whole plot was very intriguing because it was not your standard type of movie. Like, yes, it was linear in a sense, but it was still kind of not traditional because usually you have, like, you know, beginning, middle, end, yada, 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 climax or whatever. But it started off with the exorcism, which is weird because usually you would associate, okay, the exorcism, we're in a horror movie with priests and people who can perform such things. Obviously, this would be at the end, but no, they started in the beginning. And then you were sitting there wondering, okay, how's this going to work? And then Arnie was like, oh, you can take me instead. So it's like, oh, okay. And then you're like, what is happening? Everything's fine and dandy. But apparently only Ed was the one who witnessed his act of sacrifice. And then it turned out to be a curse. And then you found out more, especially when it came to, like, the ritual and stuff. So it's interesting. It's kind of like a deal with the devil, so to speak, you know, like a pact. again, I've made like 2 or 3 references in this specific video to The Witcher 3, and also I think in like Annabelle, or was it La Llorona? I said La Llorona sounded like a night wraith. And I think in Annabelle too, I said something. But there's so many connections to The Witcher. Again, Witcher obviously deals with monsters and ghouls and all that sort of stuff. So obviously you can see some connection. But even when you think back to like Gone Through Dim, like the deal, you know what I mean? Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're obviously not going to get this. But essentially there is a character who portrays a merchant, but he's really a demon in disguise. Like it's a merchant. He trades in souls, so to speak, but he offers you up power in return. So when you put this in perspective of this woman who made a deal, like she gained abilities, but she had to offer up souls in return. Once she initiated the curse, it had to end with a soul. Was it 3? Yes, it was 3. Yeah, 3 souls. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We'll get back to that thought, but now I'm wondering. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense for it to capture a soul by murdering someone. I don't know how the transfer would work there, but like the suicide one at the end, I feel like that was the soul. Like the ritual had to be complete with the suicide at the end. I'm unsure about that, but it would be kind of messed up in terms of law if, like, yes, a demonic person just had to kill you to take your soul. Like, what? That's kind of unfair. At least be possessed and, it sounds bad, but off yourself if you're possessed. Then the transfer would work. Not just, hey, anybody killed by this person would work, but whatever. But as I was saying, since she failed to do, like, their deal or bargain, as Ed said, you offered a soul, so now it took hers. And she deserved it. She was an asshole. You know what I mean? She was dealing with dark shit, killing innocent people and ruining lives. But still, I said she looked like she worked at a creepy hotel, like Hotel Transylvania, or she looks like the worst principal ever. That damn dress, bro. God, it's so weird. But again, paralleling to The Witcher, or parallel to The Witcher, however tense you want to use that in. Gondro Dim, again, was the merchant. He was the demon. He traded in souls, offered up the power, and eventually he would collect her soul after the contract was fulfilled. This one wasn't really like a contract, but again, she initiated the curse, so at the end of it, one way or another, a soul was going to be collected. It's so creepy saying this shit out loud. I'm getting the jitters, but it makes you think. I don't know who the artist was, but back in the day, I remember hearing a story about this. This was a long time ago. This was probably like more than a decade ago. I heard the story of a guy who apparently sold his soul for rock and roll. I don't know who the artist was, but apparently the story was like, oh, he was just could not play an instrument or whatever, and then apparently he met up with a shady, let's call him a shady individual and stuff, and apparently he made a deal and stuff and gave up his soul, and apparently afterwards he was just very sapped of life, and they said he was just not himself anymore, but he could play an instrument like no one else. So it's like, oh, it's kind of curious, because all these, if you've ever seen the portrayal of the devil, a lot of times they have him playing like a guitar, like heavy metal, whatever. A lot of it kind of stipulated from that event or myth or legend or story or whatever you want to call it, because I do think it was a real artist. But again, I'm not going to say, yes, it was real. He did sell his soul and the devil exists or whatever, but it's up to your own interpretation and stuff. But even if you don't believe it or not, it's still like creepy nonetheless to think about. Oh, dude. It's so weird. Starting up this movie, I just don't want to watch it because I don't like getting scared. But then when we're towards the end, I'm like, shit, I don't want this to end. Yeah, it's whatever. I do hope they make another one, though. They can keep these going. I mean, until they run out of cases, because literally all of these have been based on real cases. And I'm sure Ed and Lorraine took more than 3, because 3 Conjuring movies, so who knows? We'll see, and hopefully James Wan is in the director's chair for the next one. Again, this wasn't bad or whatever, but it was definitely the weakest of the three. It's kind of funny because anytime you watch like a trilogy, because technically this is a trilogy right now, even though there's other interconnected films, but just in the premise of, yes, there's 3 Conjuring movies. Whenever there's a trilogy of anything, it's always the third film that's the weakest, because it's hard to like conclude things and stuff. Think about Spider-Man 3, which I think gets a bad rap. I know there was Bully Maguire, yes, and stuff. And it might have been a overload with villains, like New Goblin and Venom and Sandman, but Sandman had a nice thing. But I even if you haven't seen that movie, I'm just saying, like, Spider-Man 3 was regarded as the worst one. The Dark Knight Rises was regarded as the worst one, which I was like, maybe I can see that's the worst one, but it's still like a freaking above a 90, bro. What the hell? It's still fire as hell, better than most movies they put out today. Most superhero movies they put out today. Dark Knight trilogy was legendary. Even just as a movie, excluding superhero genre, as movies, they're masterpieces. But yeah, the thing with this is it's not like a wrap. It's not like a conclusion where they're like, hey, we're retired. So again, it's up to like the actors, the director, and stuff, whether or not they would want to continue this Conjuring verse, which I hope they do, because I still really enjoy these movies and I am looking forward to more. But I'm gonna end off the video here and go eat something. It's almost midnight, and I need to do some research to see how like kind of real things were, how accurate shit was, and like what's the real story behind this, because they said it was like their most sinister case ever, and I can see why if any of this was true or close to the actual events that occurred, because whether or not, you know, I'm not forcing anything on anyone, but whether or not you're a believer or whatever, like something had to have happened with the real Ed and Lorraine Warren that made them like into their profession, help with actual police cases, church cases. And again, it's not like, oh, they just met up with some people and did a bunch of fake things for publicity. I can't say it. There's some words I just can't say right now. Publicity. There we go. Like, no, people actually died, so something had to have happened. Even if it wasn't supernatural, you did have some psycho killing people. Again, I'm not going to judge anyone, because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And it opens up the room for interpretation and not knowing what went down. That makes it so ominous, mysterious, and just creepy all around. So that's what's awesome about this movie and all these movies, because the idea that, yo, we are not alone in terms of, well, I'm not talking about aliens. I'm talking about like hellish things, which is very creepy. So yeah, I'm gonna go contemplate this in the dark, because like I said, it's almost midnight, and I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you stuck around for this long, I appreciate it, even though you don't really need to. I mean, technically, I don't even need to do like a kind of little review talk after these, but I just like doing them because I kind of like talking. I mean, I don't like talking, but it's just nice to unwind, and especially when you're just saying out your thoughts. It helps you better understand things, because like I said, these movies do help you understand like your kind of life a little bit better, or again, make you question your life because you're putting into perspective. Jeez, I can't really talk anymore. It really makes you put into perspective how things around you are so much grander than just yourself. It's kind of like decentralizing yourself and looking at the grand scheme of things like, wow, I'm such a tiny fragment of what could be like a giant picture. I don't know. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed. In a couple days, I'm going to start Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but obviously that's not going to be released until after all of WandaVision has. There's only 2 more episodes of WandaVision. I finished the series a couple days ago, but in terms of being uploaded on my channel, neither of them are yet. But eventually they are going to be. I would imagine that this movie reaction will be up before the series finale. I'm not too sure about the episode 8, because again, I recorded this on Monday, so I would like it to be up on Tuesday, but it takes a long time to edit a movie, because right now I'm clocked at 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I think this will be up either Wednesday or Thursday. And it's definitely easier to do the WandaVision editing. So I think this will probably be up after WandaVision. So if that's the case and you're seeing this, then in like a day or two, I'm probably lying, but in a day or 2 or 3, you should start seeing popping up is my Falcon and the Winter Soldier reaction. So that's that. I'm gonna go downstairs and I am gonna, again, contemplate this in the darkness while eating something. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And until then, I'll catch you folks in the next video.